In this lesson, we will see how we can create Maya projects, how we can organize our files and folders, and how we can use referencing techniques in order to save the file size. So let's begin by creating a new project. Let's go to File, Project window, and this shows us the default project, which is by default in our Documents, Maya Projects folder. So let's change this and create a new project. I'll hit New. I'm going to give a name called Maya Project. I'm going to save it in D drive. So from my documents, I can go to my computer and choose D drive. Now this could be any location. It's better to avoid C drive because as you have more files, when you render your files, the file size will become too much and it might slow down your computer. And this can also be your flash drive if you want to, but you should keep in mind that every time you want to open your project, you have to insert your flash drive and choose that particular project to set the project for Maya. So I'm choosing here my D drive, and I'll say select. So you can see that the location is D drive and the name of the project is Maya Project. Let's leave all these other subfolders as it is. Okay, so we have our scenes, assets, images, source images, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and click accept. Now before I click accept, I will show you how my D drive looks. You see, I have got my D drive and there is no project. So let's go ahead and minimize that and choose accept. Now once I do that, now if I go back to my D drive, I can see a new folder that is my Maya project. So if I open that, I will find all the subfolders that are created by Maya. And if I click on the open button, it will automatically take me to Maya project scenes, because this is where we are going to save all our Maya files. Let me go ahead and go to do the same thing from here. If I go to File, Open Scene, it will also do the same thing. If I go ahead and choose File, Save Scene, it will also take me to the same scenes folder. Now because we have set our project, when I make a render, it will automatically take the images to Images folder, and so on and so forth. Now let's ignore all these other extra files that we have. What we will be mostly using is Scenes folder, Images folder, and Source Images folder. Because scenes will have all the Maya files that we are going to create, images will have all the rendered images, and source images will have all your textures. Okay, now we have created our project, and let's talk about how we are going to create folder structures inside our project. All the Maya files that we are going to create will be inside the scenes folder. So let's open that up. And there's a default folder which we can ignore for now. Let's create the first folder. This is called Assets. So I'll give a number in the beginning so that it comes in the order. Assets is the folder that is going to contain all the characters, the backgrounds, and the props that you're going to use in the project. The second folder is called Layouts. Layouts is where we're going to keep all the layout files for as many number of scenes as we have. Let's say if your story has got 20 shots, then you will have 20 Maya files showing each of the shots, which will have the camera, your characters, your backgrounds, and the props. Basically from this we will be creating our animatics. Since it is just for animatics, it will not have any animations, but your character will be standing in its location in T-pose. The next folder is for animation. 03 animation. This is where we will have the same number of Maya scenes with animation. Next is lighting, and finally we will have rendering. So this is the folder structure we will be using. If I go inside assets, we will have character 1, character 2, your background BG1. If you have a second background, you can have BG2, and then you will have props if you have any. Props is nothing but any items that the character is going to use. For example, a cup or a gun or a sword or anything that the character is going to handle or use in its hand or leg for any kind of animation. Now let's talk about referencing. I have got few assets. I have got two characters in one background. Now let's see how we can reference this to create our layouts. So let me open a blank Maya file. So there's nothing in the scene, it's just new. So first thing that I have to do is, instead of importing or opening up an existing Maya file, I will reference them. So what I need is, for this particular scene, for example, my scene number 1, I will need character 1 and I will need the background. So what I will have to do is, instead of importing them or opening them, I will go to File, Create Reference, and I will choose my background so that my background comes in here. As you can see that it does not show the name of the file, instead it still says untitled. Let me zoom out a bit. This is the interior scene. Okay, I will go inside. Okay, now I have to bring in my character. So let's go to File, Create Reference, Character 1. I'll click Reference. So you can see that the character 1 also comes in, but the file name remains the same. Now, because we're bringing in files without knowing what scale they were created, it is very important to make sure that you're creating your background and your character in the same scale firsthand. Otherwise, what will happen is, when you import or when you reference these files, the character might look too big or it might look too small. So relative to the character, the chair has to be in the same size so that the character can sit. Now, let's go ahead and create a camera also. Create, Cameras, Camera. I will set my camera angle, so I'll look through the camera and I'll lift it up. Okay, I'm gonna put it somewhere here. I will turn on my resolution gate. I'll have to change the resolution. I will change it to HD 720. Okay, and this is a full shot, so I'll show the whole character, something like that. So this is my camera. So once I'm happy with the camera angle, there's a static shot, the camera is not going to move. So once I've finished my camera positioning, I can lock the camera. And I will save this file as my scene 1 or shot 1. Let's go to Save Scene As. From Assets, let's go one step up into Layouts. So this is my shot 1. As you can see, it shows inside Layout, it is shot1.ma. Now this MA is also very important. When you save a file, go to File, Save As. We have two choices to save a Maya file, either Maya binary or Maya ASCII. Now Maya binary will give us a format in machine language, which we cannot manually edit. But if we save the file as Maya ASCII, we can open the Maya file in a text editor and we can modify the code. So it is always recommended, to be strictly recommended, to use only MA files. So that is our shot 1. So the same way we have to create shot 2, shot 3, shot 4, and so on and so forth until as many shots you have. So this is our layouts. Now once you finish your camera movement, you set your duration. Say for example, if my animation is for 2 seconds, I will set it as 48. And all we have to do is right click and create a play blast. And all these play blast, meaning shot 1's play blast, shot 2 and shot 3 and shot 4 and so on and so forth. You can combine all these play blasts to create your 3D animatic. Now let's look at what is the major advantage of using this referencing instead of importing. Number one, it reduces the file size. What do I mean by that? Let's look at the file size of these two files. The first one, the background is 138 kilobytes. The character is 127 kilobytes. So when you import both these two files, you should get somewhat like something a little less than 300 kilobytes. But let's look at the layout file that we have created. As you can see, it is just 85 kilobytes combining both the files, which means it has not actually imported the content of the file, but it has just taken a link from the other file, which also means that you need to have these assets in the same location in order to open these layout files. Because if you delete the asset files, the layout files will not work by itself. Which also gives us an advantage, that is, if you make any changes to this asset files, it will automatically change in all the other files. Say for example, you have created 10 layouts, and then you just realized that there's a small mistake in your background and you want to change it. In other words, if you have created 10 shots, you will have to change in each one of them separately. But now, since we have just referenced it, if you make any changes to your assets, it will automatically change in the layout files. Now once you finish all your layouts, then you will create your 3D animatic. Once the 3D animatic is finished, now you can open each of these shots and save them into animation, and you can start to do the animation. And this process will be continued once your animation is finished. Then you can save the files to lighting and so on and so forth. Hope that gives some understanding on referencing.